Welcome to All the Way TV. My name is Anique Harrigan and I'm your host today. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing a very talented young individual. She is a native of the Virgin Islands. She is beautiful, she is smart, and she's here to talk a little bit more about her book, On the Corner of Unhappy and Delivered. This is Miss Eboni S. Brathwaite. Eboni, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anique. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Before we get into the interview, I would just like to mention that you're having a book signing. You're actually here to promote your book, and you have a book signing this Saturday. Can you please let the audience know a little bit more about that?
Yes, I came in for the book signing, which will be on Saturday, October 19th, and that's at 6 p.m. at Stir It Up in Havenside Mall. So it's basically a book signing and discussion. So anyone that already has the book, they can bring the book and I'll sign it there, or I'll have some books on sale and we can sign it and then get into the discussion afterwards to discuss the book. Kind of like a book club, a pop-up book club.
I like that idea. Idea. And Stir It Up is a great location, so just promoting local businesses.
Yes.
So I like the idea of a pop-up book club. I know from the minute I heard about the book, it was a hot topic. You know, you talked about, it's a memoir of love, deceit, witchcraft, and fate. Oh my, just want to delve on into that. Miss Eboni, I would like to ask, first of all, what inspired you to take the time to put your thoughts on paper and present it to a global audience? You know, we're living in a time with media, so it's not even the VI. Anyone can access this book and really hear your story.
I have always been into journaling. Even from childhood, my mom used to buy me the little diaries with the keys on it, and then it went into the ones that clip, and you know, they just keep moving on. And throughout the years, even I can remember journaling all the way up to undergrad. Oh wow. When I was in Norfolk State. So I had these journals I've collected throughout the years. Sometimes I go back and read them and I remember what place I was in then, and I would just keep writing, especially if it's a hard time for me and I'm struggling with whatever the problem is. I'll always write, and to me, I have a tendency to write even more when I'm going through something. So this book actually was written in less than a year.
Really?
When I am going through it, I write. So I decided, just remembering other journals and reading through old journals, I'm like, you know, people are always saying, if I tell them like things that I've been through, some of the experiences, they're like, you should write a book, but this should be a movie. So let me start with the easiest thing, a book. And I said, you know what, it's easy because I could look back and read my journals and be like, this is how I felt at that time. So it wasn't hard for me to put it into a book. You know, it put me back in a place just reading some of the things, and I just decided I feel my story's interesting, so let the world read it. Let them know that they're not alone. You know, a lot of the situations that I've been in, it's situations that other people have been in, whether they want to talk about it or not, they have been in it, you know. So just let the world hear it.
Wow. Well, again, I commend you, because there's something about putting light on things that are dark, things that are hidden. There's power in that. So the fact that you're coming out and sharing it, being bold, unapologetic, it's amazing, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
So on the back of the book, at the top, it says love, lies, disloyalty, depression, and witchcraft. And I would like for you to take a moment just to talk about a couple of things, probably witchcraft and then depression, because I know depression is a big issue that we have here, I would say, in our community, whether we want to talk about it or not.
Right. Well, the witchcraft part, that was an experience that, you know, I used to be kind of shy about talking about it because not everybody understands what witchcraft is. Not everybody grew up in a church. Not everybody read the Bible. Not everybody just understand the whole concept of witchcraft, how it works, what it is. So when you mention it to some people, number one, sometimes I used to feel like if they don't believe me, they think I'm a liar. So I used to be kind of shy. But then if I speak to somebody that grew up in the church and read the Bible, they're like, witchcraft happens. These things happens. They are, you know, demons. These are real life things that happen that you can read in the Bible. So depending on who you talk to, they're more comfortable with the conversation, and some people are disbelieved. So I just put it in my book. Exactly what I've been through, I put exactly what's in the book. I didn't leave out any part of it, but I just wanted people in our community to know and be aware of what happens. And sometimes I wanted to put light on something, like you said, that's dark. And I don't want anybody to be ashamed if they've been through it, if they have done it, whatever the case may be. I want people to know this is real, this is what happened, this is what I've been through, and you're not alone again.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
when it comes to
depression,
oh, I've had bouts with depression a very long time. And like I said, just going back and reading journals, it sometimes makes you sad, because I have been through depression a lot. Sometimes I'm on a high, sometimes I'm on a low. I talk about seeing counselors or seeking professional help numerous times, trying to help me out of depression, but it is real. Sometimes people don't even recognize what depression is, and some people sleep a lot. They say, I'm going through something, so I just sleep. That could be a sign of depression that they don't know. Wow. Even eating, I overeat, that could be a sign of depression. People handle depression differently, but then they handle it how they can, and they don't seek help. So I wanted people to know you can seek help. Not everybody's gonna help you, because
Absolutely.
every doctor is not the same, every psychologist, psychiatrist, they're not the same. However, you need to seek help sometimes to get out of that place. Everybody can't get out of depression by themselves. So I highlight, seeking counselors and how I felt about my experience in with depression. And to this day, I still feel like you always need help. I always need help. Absolutely. Whether it's on a regular basis or every now and again I need to drop in. But life is hard. We have challenges. Every day is not going to be a great day, but you need to know when you need to seek help.
Absolutely.
Depression is real, and a lot of us go through it, especially as women. We're mothers, we're struggling, we're trying to keep our love life, we're trying to keep a career. Depression sometimes seeps in. So I spoke about it, and I just wanted people to be aware that other people are going through what they may think they're alone in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things you also talked about was just relationship and love. I know growing up, we're all wanting to be in a place of love, whether it's in a relationship, marriage, whatever it may be, but that sometimes, like you said, may come with challenges, because we're all individuals, broken, trying to get to another place. So if you can take a moment and just talk about some of the challenges you faced in some of those unhealthy or broken relationships, and how you were able to transition from that place of being unhappy to delivered.
Okay. In most of the relationships that I've been in, I think they're all different. Sometimes it's misencounters to me. I've had misencounters, like when the person is in love with me, I may not be in love with them. Then when I'm in love with them, they're not in love with me. Interesting. So that's, to me, that's my misencounter. So sometimes it's something like that, or in other times we're in love, but then in my case, a lot of my cases, it's been, men that cheat. They may love you, they may show you love in their own way, but then they have a lot of other women. And we're in a small community here in the Virgin Islands, so we have a tendency of dabbling in the same ponds, and so I talk about that in the book. And it's just like, it's love, but sometimes it's not healthy, and we don't know when to walk away. A lot of times we don't know when to walk away. We don't even know how to walk away from a bad experience or somebody that's just not for us. We love them, but he's just not for us. So we just talk about just that. I just highlight those experiences in the book.
Which is awesome. You mentioned something about you just stated that sometimes we don't even know how to walk away, and I would like to say that just again, being a native as well, and being in this small pond, this small community, I think sometimes some of these issues that we face, whether it be in love or finances or on the job, depression, a lot of these things could be generational. And I like the fact that you're talking about your personal experience, going to see counselors, or different avenues that you did to get to a better place. Because I find sometimes we might have parents, grandparents that find themselves in that same thing, and they become a generational lifestyle. And I know you touched on that. So if you would like to talk a little bit more about that. And
what you said something good, like generational cycles, and I feel like me highlighting some of the experiences that my mother went through at the time, I may think like, you know, this is just how it is. You know, because you see it is the norm. We have a lot of, I know, classmates that we know, oh, that's my brother from another mother, but they're close in age, and you're trying to figure it out. As a child, you're trying to figure out how you guys are a year apart or 6 months apart. But you know, so all these things we see in our small community and we think is normal, and it's really not. It's not supposed to be. But then we take it and we move on and we grow up and we're in our own relationships and we accept certain things. Like,
absolutely,
my mom took my dad back, so I could take him back. And all these things are generational cycles. All these things are, sometimes we call them generational curses, generational cycles, whatever you may call it. But if we're not breaking them, we just continue to do it. And like, I've just had a child. I have a child. My son is only 1. But if I went in these experiences that I was in the book and he saw certain things, he would say, oh, it's okay to cheat. My mother got cheated on. My mother did these things, or my father did these things, and they were okay. So again, we just passing it on. So once we highlight what they are and acknowledge what these are, sometimes I think we could kind of change it in some way, you know? That's what I think. So just highlighting those things, I think would help us as a people, as a community, to know now we recognize what it is. We should do better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Eboni, thank you so much. We're going to take a break and come back with some more of On the Corner of Unhappy and Delivered.
Thank you.
Mike's Cheers to 50 Years Celebration, featuring the return of Cool Session Brass to Sophia Beach. One night only. Save the date, December 8th. VIP and bottle service will be available. Stay tuned for ticket information and more.
This is Senator Allison Degazan. This has been a tough job, but I hit the ground running. In agriculture, I propose bills to have the government dig wells and clean out existing ponds to allow farmers more access to water. In healthcare, I initiated a proposal to be sent to the Department of Health and Bureau of Corrections to bring more psychiatrists to the island to reduce the mental health crisis. In education, I started a Gardens Up agriculture program in elementary schools, and I proposed legislation that makes it easier for the Department of Education to hire skilled individuals for vocational education. For our elderly, I worked with stakeholders to produce a bill that protects them from financial abuse. For businesses, I pushed for leniency during tax time for small businesses who are owed money by the government, and to get more SBA staff locally to support our businesses. I have many bills in process and hold meetings to keep the department heads accountable. I said playtime is over, and I kept my word.
Welcome to Virgin Gorda. If it's one thing I like about this evening, you've got so many different foods, done so many different ways, so many different tastes, and this is what represents the taste of Virgin Gorda.